But what do you wear when someone says, "Oh, I'd like you to meet this guy?" Well, what I wore was a pair of this is the story of how I met my husband and why I know the date. When I was a kid, my parents used to get a cottage in Canada during the summers. And there was a little general store down the road. There was a little taco place called Taco the Town. And, we'd meet our summer friends and have fun at the beach. When I was about 9, I had a dream that we were at the cottage. And I walked down in my dream to the little general store. But when I got there, I didn't have shoes on. And so I couldn't go in. But I just knew that the person who walked out the door was going to be the person that I married. So I spent the entire dream standing outside this store barefoot, waiting to see who was going to come out. Nobody did. I woke up never seeing anyone walk out that door. It was a pretty memorable dream. So, I didn't forget it, but it held no meaning for me. I just thought it was kind of frustrating. I used to work at a convenience store at night, and one of my jobs was to sweep the parking lot. One of the regulars had inadvertently lost one of his medical bills because there it was in the parking lot on the ground, and I'm sweeping it up. So I look at it, I see his name, I know who it is, and I see his birthday is August 13th, 1969. So I decide to mess with this guy. He comes in all the time, usually pretty wasted, and I was going to screw with him. So he came in one night pretty drunk, and I said, "I bet I can guess your birthday." And he was like, "Ooh." And I said, August 13th, 1969. He lost his mind. He backed out. "Ooh, what? What? You're the devil." It was hilarious. Again, an isolated incident, thought nothing about it, right? Fast forward a couple more years, and I am at the Italian festival with my friends, Frank and Bridget. And my sister had recently told me that if you don't want to get bothered by guys in a bar, get a wedding ring, get a fake wedding ring. So we were at this fair, and you know how they have the cheap jewelry. So I've got Bridget here, and I'm telling her how my sister told me to get a wedding ring. And I'm reaching for this fake wedding ring that I'm going to buy when my friend Frank said, "You have to meet my friend. You guys have a lot in common." Those weren't the exact words. I can't put the exact words in the video without kind of getting my husband in trouble. I say, "Okay, yeah." So we went to Mr. Goodbar, and I met this guy. He was with his friends or whatever. And at one point, I went upstairs to go use the restroom. And when I walked out of the restroom, who do I see? My old customer from the convenience store walking up the stairs. And I think in my head, wait. What's today's date? What's today's date? And it was August 13th. And I looked at him across the room, and I just went, "Happy birthday." I never saw him again. I haven't seen him since, but that was so much fun. So that's how I know the exact date that I met my husband. So that happened August 96. But here's the thing, I don't think he was that enthralled with me. And I was wearing, but what do you wear when someone says, "Oh, I'd like you to meet this guy?" Well, what I wore was a pair of olive green pants that were about 8 sizes too big. It was super long, cinched with a belt, an orange t-shirt from a pizzeria I never worked in, inside out, and I had a blue butterfly clip in my hair that pulled my hair all the way like this so that my five head was extremely exposed. It took a year of inviting him out. Frank would call up and say, "Hey, what are you doing? Want to watch a movie or want to, whatever." "Okay, sure." "Oh, what's Craig doing? You want to see if he wants to come along?" Now, keep in mind, I actually got engaged to somebody. My husband was dating somebody else, and we just hung out. There was nothing else untoward about it. I was faithful to my fiance, and I don't know what his situation with his girlfriend was. I never asked. I don't care. I do know that for a year, it was me saying, "Hey, Frank, do you think Craig wants to come over? Or maybe Craig wants to come over." And he got real sick of that. So fast forward August 97, my dad says, "Hey, I'm going up to Canada. I'm getting a cottage, if you guys want to come visit." So I called up Frank and Bridget, and I said, "Hey guys, let's go to the cottage." And then I said to Frank, "Think Craig would want to go?" And that by now I'm all broken up with my fiance. And Frank says, "If you want him to go, ask him yourself. I'm done." Well, y'all know how I feel about being on the phone and talking to people, and I did it though. I called him up and I said, "Hey, listen, my dad's got a cottage in Canada for a week. You want to come up? We're going up for the day and spending the night." And he said, "Sure." We actually kissed on the beach under shooting stars. I mean, it was the most magical thing I can't even stand it. So the next day, he says he has to go to the local whatever store to get something. I feel like it was like a money order. Which is a super weird thing to need on a day trip. Maybe I had to call somewhere. I don't. So we walk up to the store. I have no shoes on. He goes inside. I'm standing outside. All of a sudden, it hits me. This is my dream. This is my dream. And he walked out the door. And I love how well God knows me because I need obvious. I need God to put everything in neon, giant billboards. Well, he did. My husband is literally my dream come true.